What's up, everybody? This is Rudy Banks, the host of the Entrepreneur Journey. Welcome back. This is episode 33 of the Entrepreneur Journey podcast. So I'm super excited. Got an old friend, Mr. Oscar of Red Drum Entertainment, Zest, 33, RPM Soul, whatever you name, he does it. He's a singer, sound engineer, entrepreneur. So I'm very excited to have Oscar on the show. What's up, brother?
What's up, man? How you been, brother?
Oh, man, come on. Bring that same energy you just had.
Hey, man, I'm just, hey. I got that same energy, man. You know, just kind of ease into it a little bit, man.
Yeah, man. It's always good to see a familiar face. I'm actually in New York right now. Oscar's in Cali. What part of Cali?
Long Beach.
Long Beach, nice. So we met probably, you said 2008? It's been a minute.
Yeah. We met like 2008 through a mutual friend.
Awesome.
Yeah. And like some time went by, and I was offered to perform at Radford University, which is down the way. Rudy went to Virginia Tech. So down the way is Radford University, and it was like their Black History Month or whatever. So the entertainment counseled on them. So a friend of mine who was the head of the Black Student Alliance at Radford was like, hey, I got this thing open. You want to come through and perform? So she took me up to the college and said, you can perform in this room, or we can go to the auditorium. I said, I take the auditorium. I said, I know I ain't gonna feel like no auditorium. I'm just like some local dude and stuff like that. I try to get people to open up for me. I tried to do the whole nine. It didn't work out, and then I got some musicians together, and then a friend of the bass player, what's his name?
Bernard.
Oh man, Bernard, man. God rest his soul, man.
Yes.
Bernard was like, man, we need a guitar player, man. I was like, you know what? I know one. So Rudy came through. Rudy killed it. We had a fantastic show. It is the only performance I ever performed with a full band. Ever. We had everybody, 2 background singers, drummer, guitar player, keyboard player, bass player, sound was on point. It was like a legit produced show, of me doing covers and a couple of my original songs, which didn't go over too well, but still, it was a fantastic time. So that's, we've been chatting back and forth. Me and Rudy been chatting back and forth for all those years, reconnected on Facebook, and then Instagram comes along, and here we are.
Yeah, man. I think about Bernard, man, he was a pure professional.
Oh, man.
And I remember as a younger musician back then, just the way to watch him enjoy the music. And that was one thing I learned. It's one thing like how you play, but it's not necessarily what you play all the time, it's how you play it.
Exactly.
He was just feeling every note he played. It just taught me music performance and how to enjoy just playing music.
Yeah, and I go back
up in your mind.
Yeah, and it's ironic that we're speaking about this, but I got a comment from somebody. I posted the videos up on YouTube, because I had a friend of mine videotape it, and I done like this little small edit and just popped it up on YouTube, whatever. And just maybe last week, someone commented on one of the videos and said, hey, who's that singer? And I haven't replied yet. I'm like, what am I supposed to say? But I went, when they commented, I went and just looked at the video, and I that's why I said it's ironic that you say that. I'm watching him in the background just grooving, just in his own space, man. And it's like, you don't see a lot of musicians like that, that really like, even though they're in the background, they're not the lead singers and stuff, they really giving that vibe. Mm-hmm. And bass is probably my favorite instrument. It's my favorite instrument of all time. Trying to think of Maurice White's brother.
Verdine.
Oh.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if you listen to Earth, Wind & Fire's records and stuff, they mix Verdine like right up there with the vocals and stuff. So you hear him like right there. And I study, like, I've been studying records forever. I've been listening to vinyl since since high school. I've been collecting vinyl since high school, you know, and I would just sit in my garage with my headphones on or without and just let the music play with my eyes closed and just study like the instruments and like, you know, I would find like people making mistakes in like the notes and things like that. But that was how things were like unprocessed back then. Everything is over processed now. You know, you don't get those vocalists who hit like a bad note because why would you want to like go and redo that pass when they sang their heart out, you know? You know what I'm saying? Like I study all kinds of people's voices and instruments and stuff. And Verdine is my favorite bass player. I mean, of course you got Bootsy Collins and Larry Graham and all those folks. Mm-hmm. There's just something about Verdine's like harmonics and stuff, man. It's like out of this world. It's not too bassy. It's just like right there where it should be, you know? And that's how I saw Bernard. I was about to say Bernard, man. I was about to say Bernard, my fault. But that's how I saw him. And I would tell him that all the time, like, you sound like Verdine. He's like, nah, man, you can't tell, nah, man. I said, Bootsy, nah, man, I can't, nah, man, don't put me up there with those guys. And that was his full-time job, man. He didn't have no 9 to 5.
He said he would go to DC, like, he played in DC all the time.
And on cruises. He would go, one of the last times I talked to him, he was just getting off a cruise. He had been on a cruise for like maybe 2-3 weeks or whatever, something like that. He had just got back, man. And then I saw somebody post about him passing and stuff, man. It hit me hard, you know?
Yes. Gone too soon. Mm-hmm. We're going to dedicate this podcast to Bernard because...
Yeah, Bernard is all on you, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
So guys, if you're new to this podcast and new to the channel, I talk about the entrepreneur journey. I talk about music and marketing. And so Oscar fits right up that category. And so we're going to kind of step into, just talk a little bit about your background from what you did in Virginia, how you got to Cali, and some of the things you're doing now. And then we'll segue and we'll figure out how we're going to do this thing from there.
All right. Make sure you edit a lot of stuff.
Sure.
But so I'm originally from North Carolina. You know, I'm a country boy, you know, born and raised in Asheville, North Carolina, you know, A-Town. The other A-Town. This is the other A-Town. But born and raised in Asheville, North Carolina. And in 89 or 90, my mom, I think I was 12, 13 or whatever that summer, August of 90 or whatever, we moved here to California, you know? So it was like a culture shock to me because living in North Carolina, only thing I saw was black, white, and I think I had like one Asian guy in my whole school, no lie. Like the one Asian guy. And I would see a couple of like Native Americans here and there, but never seen like a whole culture of like just Asians walking around. And then it was like these people that was a little bit darker than me that I didn't know were Mexican. I'm like, what is a Mexican? That's what a Mexican is. You know what I'm saying? So it was total culture shock, you know? Gangs and all that kind of stuff, you know, all over the place. You know, in the neighborhood I lived at on the east side of Long Beach, it was like 4 different gangs in the same neighborhood and all of them rivaled together. And I would hit gunshots at night, things like that, you know. I came out of the same neighborhood that Snoop Dogg came out of. Same neighborhood that all those Long Beach rappers and singers came out of. They were like blocks away. I would have had never known who they were until, you know, I got around certain people who knew them and was like, hey, man, you know, they sitting there listening to somebody's demo tape or like mixtape or whatever. And they end up being like Snoop Dogg and like Nate Dogg and Warren G or whatever. They had like this one group called 213. And they were listening. They was like, yeah, man, he like up and coming. He about to be on this record with Dr. Dre. I'm like, oh, Dr. Dre from like NWA? He's like, yeah. I'm like, what? Like, you know, flipping out, like, for real? You know, so it was like that shock to me. Now, music has always been in my life because my father, he's a musician, whole family of musicians. You know, my dad has been in his same gospel group since he was 12, you know. And now him and my uncle have basically like a Motown Review type band, you know, and they've been performing for years, like all over the South and things like that, doing weddings and festivals and stuff like that. So it was shocking to me, being a kid and I'm singing and I can remember clear as day, I'm singing this song by Babyface off of Babyface's first solo album or whatever. The song he got called Sunshine and everything. Sunshine. That song, Sunshine, right? So I was in the bathroom and I hit this note and I'm like, is that me? So then I really started hitting the notes again. I was like, oh man, I can never let anybody know that I could sing because I felt confident. Like my dad can sing, I can sing, So that's the part that came as far as like being a singer. Like I really didn't let anybody know I could sing until I got to college. So from like 12 until I was maybe 20, nobody knew I could sing except for like the girls I sung to on the phone.
Wow.
In high school. That's it. I didn't let nobody know. And this was me going to college for music. And then I got with a friend of mine, we've been like 20 plus years down. I'm his son's godfather. He came from Alabama to Colorado to the college in Long Beach at Long Beach City College. And he just would just belt out and sing anywhere. So he gave me that confidence. My boy, Chad Bishop, he gave me confidence, man. Like he was just like, man, just sing, man. And then I just started singing, started recording I done recorded so many songs and released so many albums. The albums I released go copper or cardboard or whatever. They don't do nothing. I'm just releasing music, But then music was something that I really enjoyed, but wasn't making me no money, So I was a preschool teacher for like 9 years. And then me and my wife had 2 boys, and my wife was like, look, how about we do this? You stay home because during that time period of me being a preschool teacher, the latter part of those 9 years, I started to like DJ. And I realized like, wait a minute, like, producing, music production and DJing, it kind of go hand in hand, Mm-hmm. And I taught myself some stuff and I learned some stuff from other people like that. I've always hung around DJs. I've been around my oldest son, his godfather is a DJ, I've been around DJs forever, but I just never was like, that's something I want to do. I don't want to be carrying around no crates of records and stuff like that. But thank God technology changed because now you have like the DDJs and stuff like that, which is easier, which I use. So my wife was like, hey, we don't want to pay for no daycare. We want to keep taking the kids to my aunt's house and everything. How about you just focus on your businesses and stay home with the boys? So that was like August 2018. And like, it just hit me like, oh man, like, I don't know if I can do this or not. I don't know if I'm a preschool teacher. I know how to deal with children and everything. I've been doing it for 9 years. But these are my actual children that I have to be at home with like every day, So come October 2018, I just took a leap. I took that leap of faith. And I talk to people about that all the time, about taking that leap of faith, man. Like, it's like, honestly, it felt like me like jumping off a cliff and just like soaring and everything, not smacking the ground, just soaring, man. And I've been soaring ever since. Like, I struggled, of course, the latter part of 2018, but being a spiritual person, I asked God in November, I said, Lord, only thing I want is like 3 Christmas parties. That's all I need is 3 Christmas parties, And I end up doing 6 Christmas parties. So, the Lord provides, So no lie, like come that last year, 2019, I'll fast forward, 2019, I did, all of 2019, I did over 125 weddings and events.
Wow.
Just like that. And it's all through, some of it was word of mouth, but I also used Gig Salad, which is online. And I also use Thumbtack, which got me like the majority of all my gigs and stuff, man. So come like May, I started getting too busy to where like I was getting all these gigs. I'm like, oh man, I had to turn stuff down. I'm like, man, I can't turn this stuff down. So I end up my friend, again, my friend I just spoke about, Chad Bishop, he was like, hey, man, I got this me and my boy, we got a karaoke business, and he DJs. And then we got a DJ who DJs with us. So it was Chad and my boy Mike, and then their boy Ashanti. So I ended up snagging Mike and Ashanti, because Ashanti was a DJ, Mike was an aspiring DJ, So I snagged both of them, and then I was DJing at this one. I guess I would call him a movie producer or whatever. He ain't never seen his movies. Like I seen like his posters on the wall and stuff like that. I'm like, man, I ain't never seen these movies. I know that actor, but
you don't have no job, Tommy.
I mean, it was like it was a house, and then he had like this back house, and in that back house was like a kitchen and a bathroom and stuff like that. And I was DJing in the backyard, so I went to go use the bathroom, and I'm looking on the wall. I'm like, man, oh yeah, he did say he was a movie producer, but I don't know none of these movies, right? So the bartender that was there, he ran up on me, young black dude, man, and was like, hey man, like I'm just getting into DJing and everything, man. And if you want me to come just hang with y'all and stuff, man, I'll carry your equipment, whatever you want me to do. And I'm like, okay. So I called his bluff, and he showed up. So, through that, end up forming I already had my entertainment business anyway, Red Drum Entertainment, which was just me, and everything else that I do, I end up getting a crew and everything. So it's Mike, Ashanti, and Matthias. So from May until the end of last year, everything that I couldn't do, I just pushed off on them. And they all are so grateful. They're like, man, I ain't never made this much money as a DJ, man. Like, they grateful for it. Wow. So now we have a crew as of this year. The name of our crew is Loyalty DJs and everything. So I did a logo and place it. This guy right here. I did this and place this guy right here, man. I ain't gonna. That's a whole nother story, man. Whole nother side of business. But the side of business when it comes to music, I had to get people together to build something in order for it to last, because honestly, I was getting calls and stuff like every day. I'm sitting every morning with my boys, my two sons, in the living room, and my laptop. This is my desk was basically sitting on the couch with my laptop on the ottoman with like some childish show playing, them eating cereal. One is in a high chair and everything like that. That was just my life and everything. And it still is, I still get up and make them breakfast and take care of them and things like that. But it was something like when those dudes came along, it kind of gave me like free space to kind of like breathe a little bit, because I wasn't breathing. I was like, just work. And then another business came. Then another business came. And another, I'm not lying, man. It's like, it's been a blessing. So the music has always been there. And of course, took a really hard hit due to COVID-19. Mm-hmm. My last wedding, ironically, two of my DJs went with me to San Diego, because I DJ from all the way up from Santa Barbara all the way down to San Diego, which is a long stretch, and everything in between. And we went to San Diego, and my last wedding was March 15th on a Sunday. And then everything shut down March 16th, nationwide, everything just shut down. So from there, ever since then, I haven't done a wedding. I haven't done anything, So,
but I've noticed you on Instagram, and we're gonna segue into that.
Yeah.
Notice stuff you're doing, because that's one of my questions. How COVID affected your business.
Yeah.
I want to rewind back a little bit, because a lot of things I like to ask people is an inspirational quote. You said something very vital about just taking that leap of faith And you always hear Steve Harvey talk about leap.
That's my man.
And
Don't bring it
spread your wings on the way down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do, because a lot of times you're planning and thinking about doing business, but if you don't ever take that first step, it's never going to happen.
It's never. It honestly will never happen. And I can say, I think we had a conversation during that time period. I think 2018 and 19, and then you had a conversation, and you was telling me that you were doing this one business, and that I should check it out. And I did. I ended up going into it with my brother. I purchased it, but we never worked it. You know what I'm saying? Like basically going in and helping businesses with their information online. Like going to the businesses and saying, hey, like you're not showing up in Google and stuff like that. I can help you with that. And I never got into that because, again, I end up shifting to doing other stuff. Like it was just, so at one time I wanted to really get into it because I was like, man, that's really, that could be profitable. But then my DJing started taking off. Like it was just like I was just booked. Honestly, I would be booked like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or something like that. You know, I've done a wedding every day of the week except for a Wednesday, and it would have happened what would have been like 2 weeks ago, July 8th. It would have been July 8th, but the groom, they canceled it due to COVID, and plus the groom, he broke his leg. So I didn't do that. You know, that would have been my Wednesday wedding, you know. But so, you know, segueing into like how COVID affected me, it affected me with all of the weddings being postponed. So some of them canceled. I can count maybe on one hand how many people canceled and everything. And then of course they gave me a deposit, and everybody's asking for like their money back. I'm like, look, you know, in the contract, it says this and that, you know, I mean, everybody gets a contract or whatever. And it's not like I don't feel for them or anything like that, but I'm expressing to them like, hey, basically your deposit is still good. So you can use, you know, you can hit me up anytime and say, hey, I want you to come DJ our reception here or come party for us here or something like that. We can do that. I'm like, cool, yeah, that's fine. You know, people cool with that. But then there's the people who postpone their weddings to next year, you know? So I just recently last week got 2 people who postponed, you know? So it's just, and the thing is that sometimes I have to cookie cut, you know, what I send people and everything, because they asking for the same things or whatever, you know, but it's natural to me now. And to be honest, people are still booking weddings. People are still booking me, you know?
So
and
you say you had a cookie cut. Is there, you had to do something different with your contract?
Well, yes, I did. I'm glad you asked that. And I did have to do something different with my contract to where it's a section of my contract that I put that is basically that states just in case of natural or unnatural causes, you know, ABC will happen and everything. And then I have them sign that part and I sign that part, and they still read the rest of the contract and then sign the bottom of it. And everybody digs that because they're like, dang, at least like you saying like if something else happens, because it's funny, some people have postponed their weddings, you know, when it all happened to later dates in this year. But now they have to postpone it again, you know, till next year. So they're like, you know, I'm grateful that you put that clause in your contract because it still shows that, you know, we can still make a different time and date for another occasion or whatever, you know. So
that's good.
So yeah.
Because like in our construction business side of things, we have a contingency in there. Only got a start and end date. So as a project, you got to start this date and be done by a certain date. And there's times where, like, if there's theft, like if it's a vacant building, people come in different properties and rip them off. I can't take, you know, responsibility on my contract timeline because there was something outside of my control. So
Yeah.
it's interesting how you flip that to just say, let them feel at ease that, hey, you're going to honor their contract regardless.
And they love it, man.
My world is just like, I'm going to need extra help because now there's things that happen outside of my control that I can't
Yeah.
time on. So yes, that's good.
Yeah, and they honestly respect that. They respect me and respect our relationship. They respect our relationship even more because I put that in there. Because some couples have talked to me personally. You know, I do get personal with couples. You know, I'm not just here as entertainment for you. Like, we actually become like really cool and everything. You know, and one thing I do with couples whenever we initiate business, whenever they book me, the next thing is for us to meet. And when we meet for coffee on me and everything. We go to Starbucks and I pay for the coffee, whatever they want. And we sit there and we conversate like we long lost friends, just so we can get to know one another, you know? Especially like with grooms. Grooms are kind of like standoffish and everything. Oh, he's just a DJ. They just the photographers and stuff. They just service to us. No, man, I ain't trying to be no service to you. I'm trying to get us cool. We need to be cool. So, come that day and everything. Of course, it's all professional and everything, but I want you to feel at ease, So that's why my boy Mike, we were driving home one day and he was like, he just out of the blue just said, man, we just loyal to people, whatever. I was like, that sounds pretty good. So then every other Thursday, we used to meet at my boy's Mike's house, but now we do Zoom meetings. So it'll be me and my whole DJ crew. And what I was doing was giving them instructions, because not just me being a DJ, I also, from my experience in 2019 of doing that many gigs and what I learned, the ins and outs and everything, I'm teaching my crew to be businessmen, be entrepreneurs for themselves, And what's come out of that is I'm working on an ebook, for DJs or whatever, and just to spit the truth to them, because a lot of DJs, they think like they can just show up to a gig and just set up and it just be this and that. No, that's why I said you have to be personal with people. You got to have a relationship with people. You can't just think it's all about the money. When you start thinking about anything in life, when you think it's all about the money, you lose the value. You lose the total value of everything, man. Like, as an entrepreneur in the beginning, I used to think, oh man, I got to make some money. Like, man, like in 2018, no lie, man, those last couple months of the year, I was like, man, I got to make some money. Oh, but then no lie, come 2019, that January, what got me was in December, I had hit this lady up twice already, man, to do this wine festival at Union Station in LA. I hit her up 2017, she said no. I hit her up 2018, she said no. But then at the end of 2018, because she does it twice a year, January and June. I hit her up and she said, no, I'm already booked and everything like that. No lie, man. In December, I hit her up and she said she was already booked. She booked somebody already. Maybe 2 weeks later, she hits me up and says, are you still available for this date? I'm like, yep. And I hit her with an invoice. I hit everybody with an invoice. That's another business model right there that people don't use. Use an invoice, and contracts. And I hit her with the invoice, man, and she paid me like that same day. I was like, all the money. Not no deposit. I put a deposit there for her. She gave me every last dollar. I showed up, turned that place out, man. It's a wine festival. It was only for 4 hours. So the first hour I'm playing like all these like 50s and 60s songs, Frank Sinatra, Look, Be a Lady, all that stuff, right? Man, for 3 hours, man, like, people get drunk fast. All right? For 3 hours, these people party their tails off, man, dancing to Lil Jon and anything that I would put on, okay, with explicit lyrics. Because I was like, you know what? Let me test this song. Oh, let me test this song. and people just was partying. So she got so many people asking about me that her wine festival that she had, it was 2019, that June 2019, she hit me up before I hit her up, just like that. And then this past January, I did her wine festival again. So I've done it 3 times in a row and everything, man. So what I'm saying is that, and when it comes to money, when I realize like all I have to do is just work and put my effort into something, things are just gonna come to me. So when I put my effort into hitting her up, man, I was just like, okay. And I pray, I pray all the time, man. I fall asleep on my knees at night. My wife has to wake me up, that's deep prayer. You know what I'm saying? And it's true, like the Lord heard you the first time. So I don't pray repeated prayers over stuff, man. I just pray one time and that's it about it. And then it happens, I prayed about a crew, the crew came, I prayed about my finances, and even though COVID hit and everything, man, what ended up happening was that the ideas that I had long time ago, they all came back, man. It was like, you know what? Let's take another leap. So I took a leap into clothing, which I already had a clothing line. I already had the idea, the logo, and all that kind of stuff in 2017. So I left it alone. I had the logo, I had the business cards, all that stuff, man. And then I just left it alone. And then when COVID hit, I was like, I got all these designs that I did and place it because this guy right here, no lie, we having a conversation. He was like, oh man, like I'm doing this business up here in New York. You got to try it. I'm like, cool. He said, oh, another thing that you should do graphic design. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. So I went and I applied for Place It. And then it's been, man, like I don't have a Instagram or web page or anything like that, but my hashtag is Mateo Media. And you look up hashtag Mateo Media on Instagram, I got like over 100 plus like images on there that I tag myself, tag that on images that I created, videos, still images, everything, and I've done logos for businesses and things like that. I've made like, that's why I told Rudy before, I was like, man, you made me a lot of money. I know, give me some, I'm like, man, like you made me a lot of money just because like you should never show me Place It. And then when I showed it to other people, they all like, oh man, I want to pay per month or whatever like that. I was like, you know what? You can use my account. And I've let people use my account. My brothers use it. My neighbor, I told him about it. He just talked to me yesterday. He said, oh man, like I can't get into what I want to do until next month because I got a lot going on this month. But I looked at it and I think that's what I'm going to use because he does like short like vlogs for like businesses. He does stuff. Me and him talked about it or whatever, but he's going to use Place It too, My DJs, I told them they need to start posting content, but make images and stuff like that. They use it. So all these people got to log in to that one account, man. And then sometimes I go in there to look under downloads and I only see myself. I'm like, y'all got this tool, man. Like use it. Like I honestly have gotten couples who have wanted to book me, went on my Instagram page and see my images and stuff and said, oh, like you did that, you did this and that. I don't tell them that I did the graphics or anything like that. They just asking me like, who did that graphic and you DJ that wedding and things like that. And I just go in and I just doctor up something and I post it. It has made me pretty good money.
That's good, man. I'm glad.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying.
It makes me feel good, honestly, because I put a lot of free stuff out on my YouTube channel. Yeah. Endless free stuff. And then I had somebody email me or call me or message me and say, how do you do this? Or they'll watch the video, like the first minute of it, and then watch the whole. I'm like, man, did you finish watching the video? Like, sometimes people accuse me of being too long on my content. So I'm trying to be better and not saying too much and just try to get straight to the point. Because people's attention span is really, really short.
Yes, it is.
So I try to at least be thorough in this, because that's the engineer side of me. I try to be thorough to give you the perspective of someone who's done it. I don't like sharing something or teaching something that I don't do myself.
Yeah, yeah.
I see a lot of videos that people do that, and to me, it's not very authentic in my mind. But it makes me feel good when I know people listen and actually take action. It just makes you want to share more. So
yeah, and I'm gonna add to what you just said. So me and my boy Mike, I'll bring up Mike a lot because Mike is like basically like my brother and everything, or my twin or whatever. You know, we're the same age, graduated the same year. He from Dallas, Texas or whatever, and you know, me and him in conversation and everything, man, we just be like this, you know? So no lie, like I called him and we having a conversation. He was like, man, you know, I was gonna call you to say the same thing. And the same thing was what you just said. Like on YouTube, me and him watching all these videos about people putting out this content about certain things. And we like, that's not right. Like, that ain't right. You know, like, no, you need to do it this way. This is the easier route to it instead of doing all this and that. So he was like, man, I was just about to talk to you about we need to do YouTube videos, put them out there showing people how to set up, how to do certain things at weddings and everything like that, man. Maybe like 10, 15-minute spots or whatever. I'm like, let's do it. Because we watched this one video where like these guys said like you can get a whole DJ setup for $1,000. And they were contradicting themselves all the way through it. Like, oh, well, this is not the type of speaker well, I'm just showing you this type of speaker, but it's something like this. And this is the type of mixer. Well, it's really not that type of wireless microphone. We like, man, no. If you can get something for $1,000, you show me how good that is. No, I done spent a lot of money on my DJ equipment, my subwoofer, everything, you know, and I constantly, you know, try to keep upgrading and everything. You know, that's why I said, like, I'm piecing together this ebook. I mean, I have the skeleton, you know, the bullet points and everything from all of the conversations that I have with my DJs when we do our Zooms and when we did our, you know, personal group meetings at my boy Mike's house. I would always have like these meeting notes and these bullets, and I just go off for each one of them. And they sitting here behind their laptops and everything, typing it all up. You know, like, dang, like, for real, this is what you do? And I'm showing them, like, actual, like, things as far as, like, I say this to a bride, and this is the response you're going to get. You'll get this response 90% of the time if you say this or whatever. And they use those tools. So that's why I'm really, it's a goal of mine to put out this ebook before the end of the year. But again, the clothing line has, like, taken legs of its own. You know, I just had this idea that popped up on as a meme on Instagram. And that's really where a lot of people get ideas from anyway. You know, I buy a lot of T-shirts, you know, so that's another reason why I went into the clothing line myself, because I had ideas to put on shirts or whatever. I got myself like maybe over 200 plus T-shirts, you know, nicely folded up in my closet on the shelf, you know. But I buy other companies' T-shirts, you know, like God is Dope, you know, I buy stuff from them. Homage, I buy stuff from them. Donkey T, I buy T-shirts from them. So, or just like if I'm at Old Navy and I see a T-shirt that just like stands out, like I got like a Seinfeld T-shirt. Like, you know, you walking around, you black with Seinfeld on your shirt. You're like, what did you do? You know, but I love Seinfeld, man. I think it's a hilarious show. So, and the Larry David show too, man. Curb Your Enthusiasm, man. But
I saw a T-shirt slogan just a minute ago on Instagram. The lady had, I think she said, "Stop caring," like the lady Karen.
Oh, yeah.
Stop caring, but caring, like caring.
Yeah. I saw that too. Yeah. And that's the thing though, like that's how Instagram works too. Like if you looking up certain things, that stuff falls all into your feed and everything, into your thread. So you scrolling and everything and you're like, dang, like they on to me. Like they know that I do music. They know I like DJs. They know I love t-shirts. And that's all I see and everything, man. So that's where all my money goes to, t-shirts and music equipment or whatever, you know. And can't you see, like, I end up buying these things right here, you know, these Atom Audios or whatever. Just got those, you know, which I haven't had monitors, studio monitors, since I bought my first pair in 2002, and they were some M Audios, and the tweeter blew out of one of them a couple years ago. So they just been sitting off to the side somewhere. And then I just said, you know what? Let me just like invest into something or whatever. You know, my boy was like, get the 8-inch, get any 8-inch speaker or whatever. And these come 6, 7, 8. So I just got 7s. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I was like, whatever. And they sound really good. They sound really good. So with the clothing line, it took legs of its own. And I got this idea off of a meme that my boy posted, and no lie, went into place it, and I designed this text. No lie, man, like, God honest truth, man, it took me like 5 minutes, and then I sat back and I looked at it. I was like, let me see how that looks on a shirt. So I cut it out and everything, pressed it, and I put it on a shirt. And I put the shirt on, and I was in the mirror and everything. I was like, dang, like, it took me longer to do the pressing of the shirt and stuff like that than it took for the image on the text on the shirt. Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there like, man, let me send this to a couple people, see what they think. And I sent it to my boys and stuff. They were just laughing. Everybody just laughing at it and everything, man, because I thought it was so funny, you know, because it's the truth. So I put this on a shirt. You know what I'm saying? Try to tell y'all.
Oh yeah. I seen that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
so
real,
I put that on the shirt, and I said, well, you know what? I'm going to just put it out there for sale to see what happens or whatever, you know? So within like a week, I taught myself Shopify, and I made a website on Shopify. I did everything in a week. I said, I'm gonna give myself a certain date and a time to release this. I said, because I need to do that for myself, because I'll procrastinate if I don't, you know? So I worked it, and got a vendor to press up the shirts or whatever. And I said, look, man, just press me up 200 shirts and different types of sizes or whatever like that. And I released it on one day. I think it was like a Wednesday or Thursday. And I sold out in 5 days. Sold out 200 t-shirts in 5 days. 5 days. Sold that out, man. That one t-shirt.
So guys, if you're listening right now, his shirt says, I tried to tell y'all, Cap, and that's
yeah.
So you got so many nuggets, man. I just hope people are grasping everything you're talking about. One thing some of my takeaways so far is taking action, and you're a man of faith. So they say faith without works is dead. So you're a man of action. You take action. You get an idea. You test it out. And I used to when I was working for GE, I never could understand how people would actually sell a product before it was even made. So they would actually go out, market and sell a product before they even had a product in hand. And that was the market analysis. And if you can collect orders before the product is even printed or produced, that's already going to justify you. Just like your ebook you're talking about, you can almost pre-sell that before you even write it and see if that fits. Because a lot of times we'll have this grandiose idea, we go through all the work to put it together, only to find out that it wasn't what the market wanted. But you did a quick test. I just saw that. You just did a quick test, printed the t-shirt,
and it worked. And I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna take your advice and do the same thing with that ebook. I'm gonna do the same thing. Yeah. I'm gonna just put it out there. But look, what you just said, I tested that yesterday. I tested it yesterday. I don't have one pressed up sweatshirt, t-shirt, hoodie, or anything. I found this this logo and everything online. Me and my brother was just looking for stuff for Long Beach, and this like logo popped up and everything. So I reworked the logo a little bit, and I put text on the bottom of it that just says Eastside Long Beach, you know? So that's the side of Long Beach that everybody knows, you know? It's the side that Snoop Dogg, basically any Olympian athlete, and everything that has come out of Long Beach. They from the east side of Long Beach, So it's really, really known. And I made it out, into the ESPN logo. You saw that? So it says ESLB and everything, and I promoted it, kept promoting it and everything. I done like spot like promotions where like I posted a picture of me where I printed a sweatshirt for myself, which I wore like in February because I DJ'd my boy's 50th birthday party. And I said, well, you know what? I'm not going to post this until, I really want to do something with it. So when I posted that picture, I got so many comments. Like everybody's telling me, I want one and things like this. So I was like, you know what? That's a good test. And then I promoted it, not paid promotion, but just put it out there like, hey, I'm going to do this coming Thursday. I'm going to do a pre-order, not having one shirt done, just do a pre-order and everything. And yesterday, I opened it up, my website at 9:00, and my phone, Shopify, is connected to my phone, so I get all the notifications whenever people buy anything. So I kept it open for 8 hours, from 9 to 5 o'clock. And my phone was just bing, 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 bing. So I took but you know what? It wasn't as worse as when I did the cap shirt. The cap shirt was, I actually paid advertisement on Instagram. That's another thing that people don't want to put money into. I took a social media course back in October 2018 or something like that. And I learned so much about Instagram and Facebook that I didn't even know. Like Facebook has a program called Facebook Blueprint. People don't even know about that you can actually go in here and it'll teach you all these tools. And then in the end, if you want to, you got to pay. It's like maybe $200-$300. You take a test and you can actually become a social media strategist, expert, manager, whatever. You can actually take that document, if you pass, and go to any company and say, I know how to work your social media. And they can't do anything but hire you. It's like having a degree, So I learned that. And I took advantage of it because like my instructor was like, hey, look, you can spend $10 on advertising. $10. Just go in there and spend $10 on your advertisement and watch what happens. And I used it I got another business. I have a baking business called Have a Bite Cookies, Have a Bite Bake Shop or whatever. And I went in there during the holidays, spent $10, man. I made that $10 folded over, man, like so many times, man, selling Christmas cookies, man, that I make from scratch, from my home, as a home baking business or whatever. It's called, some people don't know, it's called the cottage law and everything. In California, it's called a cottage law. But basically, you can make goods out of your home and sell them, like that. So look that up. It's in different states or whatever. Mm-hmm. So under the cottage law, I'm able to do that. And, I make the deliveries myself because they all local, on Instagram, you can put a certain location. So I just put like Long Beach, LA, Orange County and something like that. And I just go charge people like $5 for delivery, go drop the cookies off at their house, platters and things like that. Man, but the worst part about it was that, got children, got wife, I'm working and things like that. I'm staying up to 3-4 o'clock in the morning, have to go to work, be to work by 7. So I'm like beat. So that's why I don't bake cookies too much anymore. Like I haven't baked cookies in a minute, man, because it takes a lot of like effort for that. So advertising, promoting on Instagram, Facebook is cool, but Instagram, I think it captures more people. Because one thing I learned about Facebook is more for just in people's business. That's what it is. Like, honestly, it is. It's like family, grandma, everybody is on Facebook. Instagram is more, you get to know different things. You sharpen your tools of life. There's different people on there that's teaching you different things. You're not so much in other people's business because, you got the shade room. The shade room tell you everything. They own the minute about whatever. But so I used Instagram for that cap shirt, and I spent maybe like $100 because I wanted to reach nationwide. And man, I ain't gonna say I hit every state or whatever, even though I tagged, because in the when you put it in there, who you want to touch and everything, what states, people, what people like and stuff like that, because those algorithms, it'll reach out to the people. It'll pop up on their phone. Your promotion will pop up on their phone just because of what I put in there. It targets you or whatever,
So are you finding more video or photos? What are you getting the best bang for your buck for your ad copy or content?
Oh man, I would say more like photos, because then people don't. Because again, just what you said earlier, people's attention span is like that. Like you got to grab them right away, So the cap shirt, I just used a still image of a brother. Well, it was 2 images that I used. Actually, let me tell you. So $100 I split 50-50. I used the image of a sister and everything with the shirt on, and then the image she was kind of up. It was up close on her and everything, her face and her torso. And then the other image was of a brother, a black dude, in a board, kind of like at a meeting, at the head of a table with the shirt on and everything, with like these Malcolm X type glasses on and everything. But it was so powerful because it's like the way he was standing with that on his shirt is kind of like, dang, like, yeah, I'm telling everybody, like I tried to tell y'all. So I put those up there. Of course, like the woman's image got more likes and got more views as always. But then the guy, he was not too far behind or whatever, and I just got so many people in my DMs and stuff like that. I just directed them towards the website, Instagram page. And within 5 days, man, like off that $100, I sold out 200 T-shirts, selling them for $24.99, with like $8 for shipping and everything like that, man, that they would have to pay. So it was like, $32 and everything, man, out the door. And some people purchased like a couple of them. Different sizes. So sold them out and everything, man. Now, shipping them was a lot of work because I had to do that myself,
Let me ask you that. So how did you decide to go with a printing company versus print on demand? And why'd you go that way versus print on demand?
I'll tell you why. So
I know, but I'll hear what you got to say.
So what happened was I was already signed up with Printful. So right when I had already put the images in there in Printful, already had everything set up, and right when I was about to hit the button the next day to have Printful do all my printing and shipping and stuff like that, I go in there, it says the T-shirts and stuff are temporarily out. And I use quality I don't use like Hanes and stuff. I use Bella Canvas. Bella Canvas is the best T-shirts out there. This is Bella Canvas right here too. All my T-shirts, they breathable, So I was like, man, what am I gonna do, man? So I follow all these different T-shirt pressing companies or whatever. Been following them for a while and things like that. So I hit up a couple of them and said, hey, can you handle this? And they said, yeah. So I hit them up. They printed out all the T-shirts. I got all the T-shirts, and I'm just sitting here with all these T-shirts. That took a leap. I took a straight leap with that. I said, print out 200 T-shirts. And I was sitting here looking at these boxes, man. I was like, but let me tell you something. Didn't have one grain of sand of doubt. Man. I was like, you know what? I'm looking at these boxes, they're going to be gone. And I was hoping that they'd be gone in one day. It took 5 days, but them ones was gone, But the hard part was having to ship it out, man. I had to package all that stuff for myself, the labels, the shipping, the packing slips, everything, man. I had to do all that stuff myself, man. And it was work, but it showed me that what hard work now, I've done hard work before, but to do it all by yourself, that's totally different, man. It was totally different. Like I never done that much work all by myself, except for when we first moved into this apartment. My wife was pregnant. I had to move all the furniture in myself. But even that, that didn't, huh?
Yeah, we need to applaud your wife too for telling you to stay home and
make sure you put applause in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, it was just like that, man. So the Eastside Long Beach T-shirt, like I done the pre-order on that, and that I'm not saying it sold out, but I didn't want it to sell out. I just wanted to get some sales or whatever, and I netted a nice amount to where I was just like, surprised, like, okay, well, when I really release it in August and I do paid advertising and everything on Instagram and Facebook, I'm not going to do like I did with the cap shirt and get a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to wait until the money comes in and then just purchase the stuff that way. You live and you learn.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked, because like I did some of my stuff on Teespring. It's like print on demand.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
But I don't think they would do stuff like what you're wearing right there. Like, I mean, that's got.
Yeah, I did this myself.
You did it? Okay.
I did this myself. So see how this came to be was, I'm pretty sure you know Robert Glasper, right? Mm-hmm. So Robert Glasper, probably one of my most happiest days ever in life. One of my most happiest days ever in life, man. I've been to Dodger Stadium to see games, but again, another hat that I'm wearing. I'm a community liaison or whatever. So I was going to Dodger Stadium to talk to someone there. I made an appointment, and this lady scheduled me to take a tour of Dodger Stadium. I went into the areas where all the baseball players and the people who own boxes go and stuff like that, going and stand in like the broadcasting area and stuff like that. And I went all behind the scenes, and it was just so that I can talk to them about, because they do this program to give tickets to inner city groups and stuff. So I was trying to I've done it twice before, get like 300 tickets for a preschool and everything, for their families and stuff like that. So I've done it twice before. So this time I wanted to take a tour. It was a free tour, took a tour and everything, came back home, and I think we went to the movies with our family, and I get like a message on my phone and everything, right? I got a message on my phone, and I'm like, man, who playing with me? Man, this ain't no Robert Glasper, right? For real? I'm like, man, this ain't no Robert Glasper, right? So he hit me up because I posted, I don't know how I still to this day don't know how he found this out, but I put this T-shirt out there because it was 2019. I put this T-shirt out there that said 1619 to 2019. I think I put, and we're still standing. At the bottom I put, and we're still standing, right? So 1619, 2019, and we're still standing, right? Something like that. And he hit me up and he said he wanted that T-shirt. So I was like, okay, So I said, just send me your information and everything, and I'll get it pressed up for you, man. I was on it like that. Oh, man, I was like, what I gotta do, man? The worst thing I did was go to, because I had to get it out fast. I went to UPS. And I think I paid like almost like $50 to send the package from here to New York. I'm like, oh man, I spent $50 on this dude, man. I could have went to the post office, man, but it got to him like quick. So, but what I also put in that box, because if you look at Robert Glass on Instagram, like he think he a rapper too. He like to rap or whatever and joke around. So off of him being that character and stuff, man, I came up with bars and keys. Because you think you're a rapper bars, and then he plays the keys. So I came up with this logo that fast and everything. Printed out the T-shirt, put that in the box too with some other stuff, and sent it to him. And I'm scrolling on this page and everything, and it's a picture of him with this T-shirt on, but it's in white text with the singer Daily and everything, just standing there and stuff. I'm like, oh man, like I got like one of those like faint moments, like, man, like I got a celebrity wearing my stuff, you know? And that's how this came to be, you know? And after that, I was sending him stuff like here and there, because like he just likes wearing like black T-shirts with text on it and everything. So I was sending him stuff. I've sent a couple of other people things. Man, he's really like the only one that's like, that stands out that everybody would know. Other people you don't know, you know, and so it was just like one of those chance things, man. Like I'm taking my son to the bathroom and I get a message on Instagram and it's Robert Glasper. I'm like, this is not Robert Glasper, man.
He's phenomenal. He's gonna play for everybody.
Everybody. You know what I'm saying? So if you go on his page and you see bars and keys, that's me. You know, you scroll.
So did you ask for a favor and say, hey, tag me, or you just...
Man, I didn't ask this. So the last time that we spoke, because he went into like, you know, I'm staying in the house, COVID. Like he really like didn't peek outside or nothing like that, you know. Before that happened, he did a show out here in LA. And I said, hey, man, like, you know, I'm out here. So I want to come drop some stuff off to you or whatever. So he said, yeah, go drop off the stuff at the hotel to my manager or whatever. So I only had like a brown paper bag. So I put it in a brown paper bag and I stapled it. And the manager had just left. I just missed the manager, but at the front desk, they was like, oh, we can just like keep it here. And then we'll put their name on it or whatever. And when they come through, or we'll put it in their room. I was like, yeah, go take it to their room. So I was supposed to go be like a special guest and hang out with them and stuff like that, man, but had a sick child. So what I'm going to choose between a sick child or go hang out with Robert Glasper. My wife was like, no, you can just go. I'm like, no. I said, we need to be here for him. It's not like they were like so sick we got to take him to the hospital. But, you know, I'm just that type of father, type of person, you know, I got to take care of my people. So he hit me up and he was like, oh, man, I had all these people here wanting to meet you and everything because I'm wearing your stuff. And I look online, man, at his pictures, man. Oh, I got weak, man. Let me tell you, it was Mos Def. It was Bradley Cooper. It was Dave Chappelle. It was Talib Kweli. It was all these people in this room hanging out with him. He rocking my shirt in the video with them, man. He was like, you supposed to be in this room with us. I'm like, oh. Man, come on. So that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, you know, inching, you know, towards like certain people. But I'm not like hung up on celebrities and fame and stuff like that, man. Like I've met people, shook people's hands and things like that, man. I'm just like, they just like me and you. It's just that they got more money. That's all it is. You know, that's how I see it.
Well, one thing another thing we could take away from the interview is you led with value.
Yeah.
So you got on product, but you say, hey, let me give them something extra.
Oh,
and
yeah.
To turn into, you know, gold.
And that's for sure. That's for sure, man, because if you ask anyone that I send T-shirts to and everything, I always give them an extra shirt. Always give them an extra shirt. It's not, it'll never be like the same thing that they purchased. It'll be something different where they go like, wow, like, you know, and it's something that's unreleased. I always give people stuff that's unreleased. So when they rocking it, they're going to take a picture. I already got a picture that I can use as a model to post. Come on, man. It's a whole marketing thing. People walking around with it, you know, like, you know, my boy, he was one of the first people I gave the Eastside Long Beach shirt to. So when he posted a picture on Instagram and his story and in his thread or whatever on his page, people went nuts. And then he tagged me in it, and I posted it. People went nuts. This is before I even thought about doing the pre-order. And then I just said, you know what? I'm gonna just see what this pre-order looked like. And yesterday, it surprised me, man. That's why I posted a video last night. I was laughing because, someone hit me up and was like, hey, let me get one of those so I can rock it and everybody can see it. I was like, look, man, they ain't that type of business, man. I said, we cool. Support me in purchasing it, and then you can rock it like that. Because like people always reaching out like with their hands out, man. Like, nah, man. I've never been that type of person. I've never been like this. You know what I'm saying? Reaching my hands out to like ask for anything, man. I'm more like this. Like, whatever you need for me to do, I'm gonna help you out. Whatever we need to do in order to grow. And going back to something that we talked about before the podcast, like I do all this stuff by myself, man. I do everything by myself because I realize like when you have people who don't have that same work ethic, that same mentality, like let's go. And then we're done. That's it. And then let's go some more. And then we're done. That's it. Reaching goals. You know what I'm saying? That's how I am. Let's reach a goal and then we can breathe and everything, man. It's been times where I sat, in the living room feeding my sons and taking care of them, but I wasn't taking care of myself. Not drinking water and stuff like that because I'm like on it to where I felt myself almost fainting, sitting on the couch, like this one time. And I was like, man, I could have passed out, with my kids sitting here, nobody around and everything. And I had to tell my wife, like, you have to take care of me just as well as I got to take care of myself. I know you at work and things like that, but make sure you check in on me, make sure stuff like that, because I'm on I got my blinders on. And the only thing I can see is just like this goal I'm trying to meet, and sometimes you do that so much, you forget about, your health and your need,
That's true.
So
a lot of entrepreneurs always say that it's like your health is your wealth too. You got to
take care of it, man.
Simple.
Yeah.
Having all the money in the world, and you can't, don't have the health to enjoy it.
Nope, not at all.
Where do you get your drive from? Because where do you get that drive from?
I would say just part of it from my parents. Like my mom and dad. They've been divorced since I was a kid. Like they were divorced like the year after my sister was born. So they've been divorced since like 1984, something like that, But they always still had like a cool relationship, even to this day. They still cool with one another, But my dad has always had a job, always been driven, My mom, I look at her because she raised all five of us, all by herself. I mean, in North Carolina, moved to California, not knowing anything about it except for, what my aunt, uncles, and grandmother who lived here were telling her and everything. And she did it all by herself. So I looked at her as that model and everything. Like, she worked like 2 jobs and she just was driven. And then sometimes I was that person, like what I just said earlier, I had to tend to her to make sure that she ate. I'm in high school asking her like, Ma, did you eat and everything, And she's like, yeah, I ate a little bit, but I'm gonna take a nap. And then I got to get up and go to work, to her second job and everything. So she would work like from 7 in the morning to 3 and then come home and be gone from like 10 to 7 or so, 10 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning like that, man. So she worked like 2 jobs like that. So she just go back to back, nonstop. So, but then again, she realized like it wasn't beneficial to her. So God stepped in and gave her a position where she worked for this one lady who she was just an in-home nurse for this one lady. So she passed. She was like 103 and she passed, and my mom worked for her, and the lady paid my mom way more than what she was getting paid for these other jobs. So it benefited our household. things like that. So I saw my mom driving that. And plus, like, it was funny. And I wrote it on my, in my bio for my business for F28 Clothing. That's my business, F28 Clothing. And in the bio on the website, I put I put that a part of my drive was when I was a kid in the summertime, my mom used to sell hot dogs and potato chips and little sodas to the neighborhood people. And you know, she just let people know, hey, I'm having like a hot dog sale. And, you know, we lived in like a townhouse style apartment, you know, 2 floors, upstairs, downstairs. And with the back door, people be lined up at the back door, just getting hot dogs and getting chips and everything, standing out there. My mom put a trash can out there because people would want to just like camp out there and just hang out. You know, she would do it she would do it during the daytime, and then she'll take that money, go to the store, buy some more, do it at nighttime, you know, and then just do it like that. So I still remember that as a kid. So I put that in my bio because it's like, you know, that showed me like, that was my first view of a person that's an entrepreneur. Like my mom did that, you know, to care for us, you know? So, yeah, man, it's just, and plus another thing that drives me is my wife and my children, you know, cause I don't want to be, like 50, 60 years old, you know, working for nobody. You know, I haven't clocked in for nobody since 2018.
Yeah.
I ain't clocked into nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just been me being driven to get to a certain point, you know, and it's not even getting to a certain point financially. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if people get that. I want people to really get that. Financially, you're going to get there. You just got to have that drive to get to that next step. Like if you set a point, like I want to do XYZ by this date, do it. Like whatever it takes. Like at one point, I was staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning for months. 3 o'clock in the morning, man. Like every day, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was on Placeit. I was on different sites, learning different things till 3 o'clock in the morning, knowing my wife has to get up and go to work in like the next 4 hours. And I have to get up with my boys in the next 4 hours too, you know, to tend to them, breakfast and changing Pampers and stuff like that, man. That was like that for months until one night, man, I fell asleep. I was sitting on the couch. I fell asleep maybe like at 8 o'clock. My body just broke down and said, nope, it's time to go to sleep. Mm-hmm. And maybe for the next 4 days, 5 days, my body just kept falling asleep at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. It was like, nope, go to sleep, you know? And I didn't fight it. And it actually helped me mentally because I started feeling foggy during the daytime. I'm like, man, like, you know, like a zombie, like, man, what am I supposed to be doing right now? You know? And it wasn't giving me, I wasn't putting my full potential into something, you know, because I didn't have the energy to do it. So now I don't stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning. If I do, it's because I'm working on music. Again, back to producing for myself, music, producing stuff for myself, which I'm really happy about. I produced something last night and I was trying to put some guitar on it and it was horrible. I was like,
hit me.
That's what I said. I was like, wait a minute, man. Don't I know some guitar players? No, I don't know no guitar players. And then today I was like, hey, man, really know I play guitar, man. So I'm sending it to you, man. You're going to have to lay it out. I haven't put no vocals on it or anything, man. It's just a simple keys and drums. And that's all I wanted to be, keys, drums, guitar. Nothing else, no bass. Just a simple track. Just let my voice do all of the work, you know? So
we've come full circle. We talked about the entrepreneurial life. We talked about music, friends, family, faith. You covered everything. I must say, if you guys haven't been blessed by this interview, I don't know what else to tell you, but I learned more about you than I've ever known working as musicians. And it's funny, like just those little nuggets of, hey, try this website called Placeit. And I'll put the link to the website below. Just Just sharing and not being afraid. There's no competition in my mind. I always, if somebody need to know something, I'm just an open book. I always feel like if I can help somebody else get ahead, then
Facts.
do it. And it's like that law of reciprocity. If you give something in return, it's going to come back to you eventually. So that's the way I always approach things. So, like I say, it's encouraging for me to talk to different people and hear your journey and hear the struggles, because I can relate to a lot of that. Staying up at, I remember when I was working in corporate, I was doing the same stuff. I was like, man, I'm staying up 2 or 3 in the morning, be at work and struggling through meetings and stuff like that.
Yep.
And after a while, your body just shut down. It's like, hey, you gotta take some time off and put things in perspective, because we get so caught up in the action of I'm trying to get ahead, and we forget to take care of our body. So
yeah, it's facts. Like I just, and again, what you said, it is health over wealth, man. Mm-hmm. It is. I think I've always said that to people, because anything I say to someone, I've already applied it to myself. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying it to someone to judge them or to persecute them or anything like that. I'm saying it to you because I've already went through it. That time period when my first business I had was my baking business, and I was staying up till late at night, man, like baking cookies to deliver the next day, and have to work the next day at a preschool working with children. You know what I'm saying? Mm. And I'm falling asleep sitting at the table with the children while they're eating their lunch. I'm falling asleep, and I'm like, nah, I can't do this. I got to find like an in between. And I couldn't find an in between, because when I got home, I would have to start baking. And it's a process in order for me to finish what I have to do, especially if I got a whole bunch of orders that I have to get out, so that had to go, on a back seat and everything. I actually had had one friend hit me up today who purchased a t-shirt, who purchased the Eastside Long Beach t-shirt. And she's like, I'm asking for a friend, but when are you going to start baking cookies again? I said, you know what? Maybe August. I'm thinking August, but I got so many things lined up right now. It's hard for me just to be like, I'm going to just open back up the bake shop, The clothing line is going fantastic. I actually have 2 collections that's going to come out in August, which is the follow-up to the pre-order. The Long Beach Eastside line that collection is going to come out, but I'm also doing a spiritual line too, with some spiritual sayings on the front that I named after my great aunt and my grandmother, my dad's mom. So the name of the line is Emily. Emma and Sarah. So it'll be Emma and Sarah and everything. That's going to be the spiritual line, because both of them were spiritual and very heavy prayers. My grandmother, which is still alive, she turned 80 last year. She turned 80 last year. Both my grandmothers, my mom's mother and my dad's mother, they both turned 80 last August. So we went back and done a surprise party for her in North Carolina. But my great aunt, she passed away a long time ago when I was in high school and everything. But when I was a kid, I stayed with her when I was in 7th grade and everything. I went to 3 different middle schools. And in 7th grade, I stayed with her, and I just loved it. I still adore her to this day. I almost bring tears to my eyes. But I just wanted to dedicate something to them. So my more spiritual line, my more spiritual collection would be that. Just certain things on T-shirts. I got one that says "God did it." One that says Jehovah Jireh and everything. My provider or whatever. Just certain texts and everything on shirts and everything. Another one that says "Work through me, Lord." Things like that. Because again, sometimes people can be like a billboard. Like this right here ain't too much of a billboard unless you were like a musician. You would know bars and keys. My mom thought it had to do with prison. My mom was like, bars and keys? She was like, what? You take that shirt off. What do you make? Who made that shirt? I was like, I did, Mom. Like the bars and keys, mean bars, music and keys. She's like, oh, if you have to explain it to somebody, you ain't gonna sell that shirt. I'm like, I'm not trying to release it right now, Ma. I said, it's just for me and whoever else I'm gonna give it to, you know. But the more spiritual stuff, I put on the T-shirt. I showed it to her, and she was like, "Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I like that." You know. And since I'm gonna name it after my great aunt and my grandmother, like she really likes that. You know. So I'm gonna make that logo and place it. You know, the Emma and Sarah logo and place it, and I'm gonna release both of those in August. You know, I think a lot of people need some type of something that they can wear on their shirt right now, you know, to show the world, like, you know, God did it, you know, things like that. Because it's in the state of the world that we're living in right now. I truly believe, you know, a lot of people need to sync up in prayer, sync up in relating to one another. You know, got this president saying, "Oh, you don't have to wear no mask, man. You have to put a mask on." Like, don't play around. You know, even my sister, being an entrepreneur she is right now, she made a whole bunch of money like since March because she got a hold to a Cricut, like a little printer with vinyl and stuff like that. You know, I had been doing that too. You know, that's how I made this right here. You know, so I can make my own stuff at home if I want to. But my sister, she went off and she started her own business in March, where she was making masks and stuff, like putting designs on masks and putting designs on Starbucks cups and things like that, man. She has made a killing. I'm serious, man. Like, she's made a lot of money off of doing that. And a lot of people bought a lot of masks and things like that from her through because of the designs. And also, again, it's one thing that we didn't touch on is that being an entrepreneur, you have to be a people person. You can't be like, you know, it's all about the money. That's why I keep saying, don't think about the money. I told my DJs that too. Like, there's like, oh man, like someone posted like on Thumbtack, they have like a range between, like, somebody might post and say, you know, I'm looking for a DJ and my budget is between $750,000 to $1,200. And I tell them, hey, don't take the $1,200, man. Don't do that. I'm like, number one, you're not qualified. You don't have the equipment. You don't have the knowledge and things like that to charge somebody $1,200. You need to charge the latter. Tell them like $725. And then you're not lowballing them. You just getting, you know, they just gonna pay you for what you qualify for, you know? And just don't think about the money. Like, you have to be a people person. You know, people have to be able to relate to you and talk to you. And you have to be able to see where they're coming from, you know, in certain aspects or whatever. You know, I met many couples that some are like, this is my second marriage. I'm like, me too. You know what I'm saying? And some of them like, oh, we're integrating like families and stuff like that. You know, my children with their children. I'm like, me too. You know, some people were telling me, oh, I'm from the South and he's from the city. I'm like, shoot, I'm from North Carolina. For real? What? Like, I'm from Alabama. Or a couple of people I met, they from North Carolina or Virginia, you know, they live out here now. And I'm telling them about Blacksburg and oh my gosh, like this and that. That's what I'm saying, like those conversations and everything. And then you can get down to business and you can give them a number and they won't frown up at it. Like if I told a couple today that for me to DJ their wedding is going to be like $1,300, they ain't going to frown up at it because they're going to look at my reviews. They're going to look at my Instagram page and everything and see in my highlights all the weddings that I've done, how happy the people were and stuff like that. $1,300 out the door. I don't have to struggle. They don't have to barter with. They don't have to like negotiate with me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that reminds me of like, you know, a lot of times you say two things. One is under promise and over deliver.
There you go.
One, and then the second one is people do business with those they know, like, and trust. So you're warming that market up. It's not like you're going in cold, banging on somebody's door saying, hey, give me $1,300.
Right, yeah.
You don't, it's almost like speed dating in your aspect because you're having a chance to sit down and connect before you talk business. So
Yep, yep.
sometimes
And
people think all about
and
the money.
sometimes, go ahead.
So a lot of people say, "What's in it for me?" But you got to think about what's in it for them first. Draw that value.
Yeah, yep. And honestly, it's number one. Like you got to value. I tell my DJs all the time, value the couples first. Value the people that you're going to be DJing for first, and everything. Like anything. That's why I take people for coffee. Because I mean, you can sit with someone if you can break bread with someone, or in that case, sip coffee with someone and everything, and laugh with them and everything. You already got them. Like I had some of my DJs, a couple of them, sit there with me like a fly on the wall and just watch and everything. And they'll chime in and things like that. But they just sitting there, and then when we get in the car and go back home or whatever, they're like, "Dang, man, like it was like y'all were long lost friends, like, and you just taking their money." I'm like, "Man, I'm not taking their money, but they giving me their money, But they were like, and they'll repeat it to me a couple of times. So it's 1,300, right? I'm like, yeah, nothing more than that. No extra fees and nothing like that. It's 1,300, cool. And then no lie, like that same day or the next day, they hit me up saying, "Where do I need to?" After they didn't each sign the contract, I put it in the invoice anyway, where they need to send the money to. But they always ask me, where do they need to send the money? And then that's when I know, like, I got them, man. Come on, it's like that's why I said I don't like chase money, man. That's what I meant to say this whole time. I don't chase money, man. I don't.
I was going to ask you that, like, so because I've done some business with. The more and more you do it, the more you realize how selective you have to be on your clientele too, because it's almost a marriage in that business.
Yeah.
So how are you going about like screening your clientele, or you just anybody that comes to your door, you do business? How do you ever filter or screen them out? How you pre-qualify them?
It's more of them like pre-qualifying me, and then like I actually had to turn down this one couple. It was pretty bad though. It wasn't a good benefit for me. We were going back and forth about what things need to say in the contract, because it was during like, because what ended up happening was that they were booked. They booked the DJ, and the DJ took the deposit because they wanted to postpone their wedding. So the DJ was like, "I can't do that day anymore. It was supposed to be for Halloween, October 31st this year." And he was like, "I can't do that day," so they lost out on money. So they were going to pay me. They were like, "Look, we're willing to pay you," I think it was like close to $1,400 or whatever. And I'm like, I mean, to me, it's not about the money. To me, it's about like, I tell my DJs this too. And that's one big thing I'm going to put in my ebook. It's not about the money. It's about the experience. That's what I get out of it. Cause like DJing has taken me to like so many places and venues that I would have never gone to eat, to view, or anything like that if it wasn't for DJing, And I bring my DJs along with me. My boy Mike sometimes co-DJs with me. He'll set up his stuff, I'll set up mine. And these couples got 2 DJs for the price of 1. And they freaking out like, "What?" And they want to take pictures with us and all kind of stuff like that. And then sometimes they just come along, and Mike has like a Barry White type voice. So one Christmas party we did, he emceed it. So he's like shout out to people and everything. "Go Canada, yeah, all that kind of stuff." And then sometimes they just come along just to hang out, help me set up things or whatever like that. But that one couple, since they weren't able to get their money back from the DJ, they wanted to hire me. They wanted to change all the stuff in the contract. Like, so what they wanted to change in the contract was this. Okay, if we give you a deposit of half the amount, if our wedding does not happen, you got to give us that money back. I'm like, no. I said, in my contract, it states this. So they was like, okay, well, how about this? We book you and we pay you the full amount the day of the wedding and everything. I was like, no, I need a deposit, because this is security for me. Because it might be somebody else that want that same date, and they're going to give me a deposit. So the craziest thing happened, and you probably are thinking to yourself, I already know what happened. So we had our last conversation about the contract, and that same day, this one couple hit me up who had already booked me, and they wanted to postpone the date. To what date? October 31st. So the same day I'm having a conversation about their contract, this bride hits me up and says, we need to move our wedding to October 31st. I'm like, cool, because y'all already booked me already. And if y'all want to postpone it to October 31st, cool. So I hit that couple up and told them, hey, somebody already booked me. So, and they got mad, and, he was talking, and one thing that I taught myself, because I'm a calm dude. I ain't finna be all unprofessional in emails and stuff like that. I was so courteous and everything. And then when I had my meeting with my DJs, I showed them the email, and they both, all of them, we on screen on Zoom, and they reading it. I shared it with them, and they all like, shoot, and they start cussing like, man, shoot. If they would have said that to me, I'm like, nah, man, that's not the way that's not proactive and everything. You got to give them more kindness when they come at you hard or whatever, and disrespectful. You give them more kindness. And, he was, the groom was saying all this stuff in emails, and, I'm going to send you a bad review. I'm going to do this and do that. I'm like, you can't do nothing to me, man. Mm-hmm. Like, I said it to myself, like, you can't do nothing to me. I ain't did nothing to you. There was no deposit. You guys did not sign a contract and everything. Someone hit me up. I told him, straight up, this bride hit me up about this date. It happened to be on the same date y'all wanted, but so, that probably was the only couple since I've been DJing that I have had that type of not so good relationship with.
But that's good you went through that, because
it is.
The main thing you just said was experience.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I asked you that question, because I had something similar happen on a renovation project. We had this couple that, it was their bathroom, it was like 2 rooms. It was the size of probably somebody's apartment.
Damn.
That's how big it was. And they had a contractor come through, and they did some of the renovation work, and things didn't go as planned, so the contractor got fired. Well, our company got referred to come and do the work. So you're already coming behind somebody that didn't do it to your liking, so the person is already, feeling a certain type of way. So came in, shook hands and all that stuff, built a good rapport, started getting in the contract, and some of the same stuff started happening. Like, hey, we noticed you got this in here. We need you to add this in here in case you don't deliver, blah, 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 blah. I was like, whoa. I just started feeling a certain way because of what the other person had did. And it's like, no matter what we would have done on that job, it always going to feel like it was never going to be right. So I gracefully backed out of it. I didn't sign a contract. I didn't take any monies or anything like that. And just, said, right now, the state of our business and things that are going on, I'm gracefully backing out.
Yeah.
You believe they accused me of being unprofessional and a whole bunch of different things. So I'm like, thank God that, we didn't get into that contract, because it probably would have been a nightmare.
Yeah. And
experiences you have to, just be grateful for. And so it has taught me, as I'm talking to clients and mentally, as they're screening me, I'm screening them to say, is this person I want to be in a relationship with? Because if something doesn't go exactly as planned, how will things flip? And will I have my contract in place? And there's many times where, I have a contract in place and people say, well, I knew it said this in the contract, but I thought I was getting this and this and this. I'm like, well,
yeah.
So I learned really the bottom line is documentation beats conversation. And so we can be buddy. We can be, shaking hands, having a good time, going out to drink coffee. But when it comes down to a discrepancy or a misunderstanding, you got to have that paperwork to go back to talk to.
You do. And that my contract has saved me so much of a headache, so how my contract came to be, because before, when I first started, I didn't have a contract. And then I did I DJ'd forgot what they call it, but it was like this ball or whatever at this one college up in LA, and the whomever sent me a contract. So when he sent me that contract and everything, I'm reading through it. I'm like, I can use this contract for myself. So, man, I took that contract and I flipped it. I flipped it a bunch of times until it fit my mold or whatever, man. So I'm like, oh man. So it was a blessing in disguise, because it was like I didn't have a contract with people. Only thing I was sending people was an invoice. I knew that was something that was really important, until you realize, like, when I read through that contract and everything, I'm like, dang, man, I missed all of this. Like, this right here could help me. And then looking at other people's contracts online, DJs and entertainment people's contracts, and I just put like little sentences in there, just taking it here and there, and it fits me perfect. Like, only thing I had to change was just what we spoke about at the top, was just to put that basically natural, unnatural clause in there if anything happens, and I'm leaving that there for the future, because you never know what the future could hold, and again, I'll let couples know that the contract is a benefit, not just for you, but for me too. It holds me accountable, and it holds you accountable, in certain aspects, but it holds me more accountable that I'm gonna be there at this time, this location, doing this, doing that, and you can guarantee it. And my signature is my sign off that I'm gonna be there, So I truly believe in contracts and in invoices too, man. Listen, y'all get y'all invoices together too. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, keep all your stuff in order.
You can't, if you don't invoice, you don't get paid.
You don't get paid. Hey, let me tell you, I learned that. Like, I wanted this. Now, I'm not going to say there was one point where I was saying, man, I got to get some money or whatever like that. This one school hit me up to DJ their some type of party or whatever. And the lady asked me, hey, do you have an invoice? I'm like, yeah, I can get you an invoice. Man, I'm all online looking for like templates and stuff, man. I'm like, and I sent her this invoice and she said, no, this don't look right. You didn't put this and that. I'm like, okay. So I learned something from her. And then I said, well, you know what? Let me just go and I'm gonna just pay for a service. So I've been paying for this service. I'm gonna say something else too. On to this. I've been paying for this service for a while now. It's through Zoho, Zoho, and everything. I do all my invoices through there. I can do the whole invoice and email the invoice to the people straight from there, just like that, and they can pay through there if they want to. If not, they can pay me directly through my bank account, through Venmo, through PayPal, wherever, like that. Everything has a trail. I learned that, and I sent that to her. Now, she was the first person I ever sent an invoice through Zoho and everything. And she was like, oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. I'm like, man, ever since then, I've been using it, and I've never had one person tell me that it wasn't unprofessional. It's an invoice. It's professional. And if you want people to take you serious, you have to be professional. You can joke and laugh and do all that kind of stuff with people, but I promise you, if the contract not right, if that invoice not right, man, they're gonna say, no, I don't think I want to do business with you, And that has happened to me. I lost a couple of gigs in the beginning because my paperwork wasn't right. I didn't have a contract, I didn't have an invoice and things like that, and people can't just wait for you. That's another way. That's another reason why I'm just like, go, go, go. Like, when someone asks me for something, I got it already. I tell them, give me till noon and I'll have it in your inbox. And I have it to them before that. And they're like, oh, thank you. Like, that was so fast. Mm-hmm. And even when on Thumbtack, I've made preset templates where, like, if someone hits me up and everything about a gig, I can respond to them within minutes. And the only thing I have to do is just put their name in the template 2 times and just hit send. I'll actually put their name in the template 2 times and put my quote in there and just send it to them. 3 things and hit send, just like that. And then I can show you can show you every response that someone hits me back and they'll say, wow, thank you for that quick response. It's always that, thank you for that quick response. Just like that, man. And that's what people want. They don't want like you waiting and everything. They don't want to be waiting. So that's just been me, man. It's just
automation is a beautiful thing. I give you a prime example. Left corporate, whatever, and then got my business going. So I took that same mindset from corporate, like all the automation, like software and stuff I use. The same. I didn't have to spend that much money on the stuff we were using in corporate America, but Like QuickBooks. So I had QuickBooks. You use Zoho. So here's what happened. I get called for jury duty. Here I am, not even like a couple months in business. And I'm getting called in jury duty, and we got projects and stuff going on. And I'm like, man, what am I going to do? But luckily, I had everything already digital. So in between our sessions in jury duty, I'm sitting in a room typing up invoices right on my phone through the app, billing people. It's like I didn't really miss a beat because I had everything right here.
Right.
And the other thing too is I like about QuickBooks here recently. You know, the way we normally do it is I'll go look at a project and then I'll send an estimate. So the client will look at the estimate and they'll say, okay, yeah, I agree to the work. From there, we do the work and then I invoice. So the estimate is tracked to the invoice. And then, you know, I had a situation where a client, they forgot to pay, that does happen.
Been there.
In my world.
Yeah.
And it was like, so it was like 2 weeks later, they said, well, send me the invoice. I'm like, I go back in QuickBooks. QuickBooks shows me when I sent the invoice.
Timestamp it.
It shows me when they opened the invoice.
Yep.
So it's not like, email verification. The software knows that you actually downloaded and opened the file. So it's like, okay. So that's why I like that tracking and systems that do that for you.
And that was the same thing with, I have, so I'll do the contract, and I have the contract as a document in Google Drive as a document. And all I have to do is go in there and, for whatever the event may be, just put in all the people's information that I asked them for previously. And I only asked them for just certain information and everything, put it in there, and then I turn it into a PDF and I put it in DocHub. And see, in DocHub, all I have to do is just go in there, put certain sections where they need to sign, where they need to e-sign, and then just send it to them directly through DocHub. And then they can just e-sign it like that. So same thing, I can see when they looked at it. I can see when I got it set on DocHub. If they didn't sign it yet, it's going to send them a reminder within 12 hours. You need to sign this document. And it'll keep on sending it. It'll go 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours. It'll just keep on sending it to them until they sign it and everything, man. So there's one couple, the groom got mad at me. He was like, he signed it already. He was like, I don't know why I keep getting these notifications about I didn't sign. I need to sign the contract and everything. I was like, oh, well, let me go in and check it. And he's like, because I already signed it already. I'm like, okay. So I checked it. Man, he ain't signed nothing, man. It was like, only thing that he put in there was the date. He forgot to sign it. So I was like, you need to go back in. It only shows that you put the date in on that date, but you didn't sign it. Then he said, show it to me. So, man, again, I go so far with couples. Like I go out of my way for couples. Even at weddings and stuff, man, I had to hold a bride's gown while she was walking into, that was me. I was that guy. A couple, trust me, man. Stopping people from fighting at weddings and stuff, man, I'm that guy. Everything, man. Seriously, it's been I got a bunch of stories, man, but we ain't gonna talk about those stories. So he goes in, I take a screenshot of it and show him, this is the evidence that you didn't sign it. And he still wanted to debate with me and everything. I'm like, man, you didn't sign it. So he was like, well, I'm going to just sign it again. I'm like, so he e-signs it and it comes to me within like less than 5 minutes, man. I'm like, come on, man. You know, and then he tells me, I already paid you the money. Like, what is the problem? And then when I get to the wedding, we like best friends. Like he want to come hug up on me and everything. Like, man, get off me, man. Like,
he's probably feeling good by then.
Yeah, man. I'm like, man, if you don't get off me. And this was like, because they hired me. It was like they had already how can I say, they booked the venue and everything, but they didn't book the DJ. So they booked me 2 weeks before their wedding. So this is him getting on me and everything because he's rushed and everything, man. He was like, and he said it. Oh man, I just felt so like, I hope I didn't offend you and everything. I just felt a certain way and stuff, man, like trying to put this wedding together. So if I offended you, I apologize and everything. You want me to buy you a drink? Like, man, I don't drink, man. I don't drink. I said, just give me some food. That's the only thing I want. That's the only thing I want. Whenever I go to weddings, I always ask couples, what are y'all having? And everything, And then sometimes at weddings, maybe 2-3 times, the couples didn't feed me, man. And I'm just like famished up there, man, just drinking water. And I can't move from here to get to the table where the food at or the desserts are and everything because I'm DJing and everybody's on the dance floor partying and stuff. I'm like, oh man, I need to make like a mix so that I can just put on, go away for maybe 5 minutes and come back, So I'm working on that too, just different things. But it's true, Contracts all that stuff is important. Contracts. Oh, and this is what I wanted to add right here real quick. Please, people, please pay for services. Pay for contract services if you have to. I pay for Doc Hub. I pay for Zoho. Thumbtack, they only charge me whenever I get a lead and everything, I pay for Pace. I pay for Placeit. I pay for so many different things. Like I actually wrote them out. But I pay for so many different things because your business, if you're an entrepreneur, you need these things. Even if you don't use it, like I haven't been using a lot of these things. So, I also have liability insurance. Mm-hmm. Pay for your liability insurance and everything. I'm telling you, because it's going to be a time when you're going to need it. So just pay for it every month. I mean, because for me, it don't hurt me to pay $16 or $19 for something that's beneficial to my business. Even if, like right now with this COVID thing, things aren't really popping off and you may not be making any money. But I can say for myself that, thanks be to God that, within like a couple months ago, 2 days. In 2 days, I got 4 weddings in 2 days on Thumbtack, just out of nowhere. That's what I'm saying. So again, people, don't stress about money. It's going to come. Trust me, it's going to come. When you start stressing about money and worried about money and chasing money, it never comes. When you just sitting there, I'm just sitting there, man, and my phone went off. And in 2 days, I got booked for 4 weddings. It would have been 5. But there's one groom, he never hit me back up when I called him. 4 weddings in 2 days for next year. So I'm trying to tell you. So, and they gave me all their deposits within 1 week. So that was pretty nice, Mama was happy, Yeah.
So before we started this interview, I told Oscar it's going to be 30 minutes. He said, man.
I tried to tell him, man. Too many hats, man.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. I think we covered a lot of different bases, man. If you want to just leave us your plugs as far as like your websites. I know you mentioned a lot through the interview.
Yeah.
Share how people can reach out to you because I'm quite sure people want to know about the t-shirt business and cake business and DJ business.
Yeah. Hey man, I don't do cakes, man. I don't do cakes, brother. I only do cookies. That's it. Cakes is too hard. Hard, man.
And let me know about your YouTube channel when you get that flying. I can help you.
Yeah. So
share your the best spot to catch you, and we'll wrap this up. I want to thank you though. Appreciate your time, and we've been going at this, and I'm looking forward to the editing process. But I really enjoyed it. Definitely good reconnecting. So yeah. Go ahead.
Hey, don't be angry. Don't be angry when you edit in this, man, because we did a lot of talking. I did most of the talking, But you can reach me on Instagram at 33 RPM _soul. That's my DJing site and everything. Red Drum Entertainment. Again, that's at 33 RPM @FM_soul. My name is DJ Zest, as you can see, because it's a big old smile, and my clothing line, which I don't know, I can say so many things about that, but you can reach my website is www.f28clothing.com. And also on Instagram, you can reach me at F28_clothing. You can check out my my cookie Instagram too. It's just Have a Bite Bake Shop. Hava, HAVABITE, Have a Bite Bake Shop. And all those things are all those names that I just told you, the 33 RPM, F28 Clothing, and Have a Bite. They all personal things to me. They all are those type of things that, like, a name that just came out of nowhere, and it just stuck. They all have a story behind them that we won't discuss right now because it's long already. But honestly, if you are an entrepreneur, just please, like, I'm not telling anybody to leave their jobs like me and Rudy did, But honestly, just if you believe in something, take a leap. Take that leap of faith and just test out the waters. It's going to be scary in the beginning, but honestly, that scare just fades away. My scare faded away within weeks, and then it came back because I wasn't making any money. And then it went away completely. And I've been worry free. People ask me all the time, cause next month I'll be 43. I don't look it though. I'll be 43. Right.
Congrats.
People ask me, like, why are you so spirited like that? And why you look so young and whatever. And I tell people it's two things and everything. And one thing is that I've never done drugs. I don't do drugs. Never did drugs. Never smoked weed. Nothing like that ever. Been around it, but never did it. Right. And then the second thing is I don't worry. Nope. Because worry takes a toll on your body that it can't recover. It takes years to recover from worrying and things like that. You see it in people's eyes, see it in their health and things like that, So I don't worry. I'm very up-spirited, very, like, friends used to tell me, like, you can't get high with us because we think that if you get high, you might jump off a building because you're so crazy or whatever, So I don't need to get high off drugs because I'm already high off life. I really am. I'm really high off life. And I'm enjoying this life right now. Even through this COVID, I've been enjoying it. Wearing the mask, I don't care about wearing no mask. I'll wear a mask. I mean, Michael Jackson taught us that a long time ago. It was okay. He was telling us that a long time ago. Y'all need to start wearing masks. You know what I'm saying? So, and the Asians over in China and stuff, they've been wearing masks forever, but it's due to pollution and whatever. But seriously, if you're an entrepreneur, take care of yourself. Your health is important. Money will come. Don't think about money. Money is going to come. Just do the work. Just constantly do the work. No matter if it's you writing a book, no matter if it's you want to be the next great musician, put out the next great app or whatever like that, whatever it may be, you put the work into it. And I promise you, like, it'll one day it just clicks and someone's going to show up or something's going to show up and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, like, this is what I've been working for. And that's what happened with me with DJing. Like, just one day it just all clicked. Like, I just started getting gigs all over the place. And I'm like, this is what I've been wanting. This is the reason why I purchased the Zoho, subscribe to Zoho to do my invoices and everything. This is why I subscribed to DocHub a long time ago. At the same time, it was like weeks when I wasn't receiving gigs. When I started receiving gigs, and I was already prepared. I was prepared to do the invoice and contracts and send it to people right away. I was already prepared. So that's another thing. Be prepared. Don't worry. Don't worry. You know, even if you want to stay at home with your, have to stay at home with your parents, you know, whatever. Just, you know, if you believe in something, I really suggest that you do it. And it's this time to do it right now, because during this time period, I believe everyone should be an entrepreneur right now. This is the best time to be an entrepreneur, because you have nothing but, let's say, somewhat downtime to do something to build you up. You know, you got all this time. I swear, you got all this time. So take advantage of it.
Wow. Awesome job, man. So
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I told you I try, man. I try.
Yeah. I appreciate your time, man. And like I said, so many nuggets. I'm gonna probably put some information down in the show notes of all the stuff we talked about. And feel free to reach out to Oscar. I'm quite sure he'll hit you right back on Instagram.
Right away.
And yeah, just thanks for your time. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in another episode of the Entrepreneur Journey. Peace.
Peace.
Hold up, wait 1 minute. You stayed till the end. I appreciate you. Thanks for subscribing. And YouTube is recommending you watch one of these 2 videos here. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in another episode. Peace.